Have you ever stopped to wonder what actually keeps the gears of the American economy turning so smoothly? It's not some kind of magic, but it is a powerful, almost invisible set of rules. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the Uniform Commercial Code. Think of it as the silent operating system for just about every business deal you can imagine. All right, let's get into it.
But to really get why the UCC is such a big deal, we first have to imagine a world without it. A world where doing business across state lines was, well, a complete and utter mess.
So that's the central question, right? You've got 50 different states, each with its own way of doing things. What's to stop the entire system of commerce from just collapsing into a pile of confusion and lawsuits?
Before the UCC, the reality was just chaotic. I mean, picture a company in California trying to sell goods to a customer in Florida. The laws for that one single sale could be totally different in each state. What even counted as a real contract? Who was on the hook if the goods got damaged along the way? It was a legal minefield, and it made every single transaction uncertain and incredibly risky. So, out of that chaos, a really brilliant solution started to take shape. The goal was to create one single, reliable rulebook that everybody in the business world could follow no matter where they were. And here it is, the Uniform Commercial Code. You see, the real goal wasn't just to pile on more rules. It was to make commerce actually work better by creating a predictable and simple legal landscape from coast to coast.
Now, this thing didn't just appear out of nowhere. The UCC was really built on the shoulders of giants. People had been trying to standardize business law for decades, going all the way back to 1896. The UCC was the huge project that finally brought all those different pieces together.
Okay, so if this code is so critical to our economy, you'd probably think it was created by Congress, right? Or some giant government agency. Well, you'd be wrong. The real story is actually way more interesting.
And this brings us to a pretty fascinating question. If the UCC isn't a federal law and it wasn't written by politicians, then who in the world put this thing together? The answer is two private organizations, the Uniform Law Commission and the American Law Institute. These groups are made up of the country's sharpest legal minds. We're talking top judges, lawyers, and law professors who all work together to draft this masterpiece of legal engineering.
And this is the most important part to get. They created a model code. It's like a template. It has no legal power on its own. The only way it becomes an actual law is when a state's legislature votes to adopt it. So this whole thing is a state-level decision, not some mandate from Washington.
All right, so we've covered the why and the who. Now let's dig into the what and see how this code actually functions in a real-world deal.
This shows perfectly how the different parts of the UCC, called articles, work together. Just think of each article as a chapter in the rulebook for a specific kind of transaction. So in one single purchase, you might have the contract for the sale covered by Article 2, the payment by check handled by Article 3, and maybe a loan secured under Article 9. It's designed to be a totally seamless system.
Now you might be thinking, this all sounds incredibly rigid, a giant rulebook for business? But one of the UCC's most powerful features is actually its built-in flexibility, which is absolutely essential for the modern economy.
And that brings us to some of the code's best features. It's state-adopted, which is great, but it also provides a set of default rules. Think of these as the baseline settings that apply if you don't say otherwise. This gives businesses a ton of freedom. And crucially, it's always being updated to keep up with how business actually works today.
This quote really says it all. The UCC provides a safety net, but it empowers businesses to negotiate their own terms to fit what they need. It's a foundation you can build on, not a cage that locks you in. So how successful was this whole idea? Well, this number speaks for itself. 49. That's how many states adopted Article 2, the main section on the sale of goods. The only exception is Louisiana, and that's just because it has a unique legal history based on French civil code. That level of buy-in is just a stunning testament to the code's success.
So let's bring it all home. After all these decades of evolution and adoption, what's the ultimate legacy of the Uniform Commercial Code in our daily lives?
In the end, it really comes down to this: predictability and efficiency. The UCC is that invisible engine that lets millions and millions of business deals happen every single day, smoothly and reliably, because everybody is playing by the same core set of rules.
But, of course, commerce never stands still. With the rise of online shopping, digital assets, and crypto, the code is already changing. In fact, there's a new Article 12 in the works just to address digital assets. And that leaves us with a final question. In a world of constant innovation, what will the next chapter for this remarkable code even look like?